Hey everybody, happy Thursday. I just got on here to give kind of get a kind of an update. It's been a hectic morning this morning. Um, I went to pain management yesterday. We're holding on clearance from neuro on whether or not I can do the injection in my shoulder. So we'll see how that process goes. Nothing seems to go quickly. Um, Heard back from my HR department this morning. Um, and, I just feel like I'm in a race against time on healing versus getting back to work. But so far, Progressive's been good to me. God's been good to me. So I really have nothing to complain. Cigna's been good to me. I really can't complain in the department. My medical bills have been upward of $1 million. And, my out of pocket, which hasn't been paid yet, but is nowhere near a million. And so, in the big scheme of things, I'm blessed. Um, Still trying to get money to get August rent together, but again, in the big scheme of things, I'm blessed when I look at that complete picture. Um, just based off of a couple of comments, a couple of questions I've been getting, and where people, I guess, haven't realized that I'm paralyzed, partially paralyzed. I've been paralyzed since April, April 4th to be exact, right before I got out the hospital the first time. So when I went in the hospital the first time, and I had so I had been thrown up for a month in March, the month of March, and that's literally, and I dropped 40 pounds in a month or so, and that's when I started clocking it, at least. Um, from when I first went to the doctor to the ER admit, April 1st. Um, and I ended up with, because of all the vomiting and everything, I ended up with the candida infection in my lower esophageal tract, right? So, and then ended up with the GERD. Never had that before in my life. Had C. diff, pancolitis, all these things that I never had before, right? Because my provider let me throw up for a month. Um, Moving on from there. So before I was discharged, so people ask, okay, so where does this autoimmune come from? Guillain-Barré can be triggered by either a vaccination, immunization, which I haven't had any recently, or by a bacterial infection, ding ding ding, or gastrointestinal issues, anything that have been recent. So for me, the gastrointestinal was red flag, red flag. That was me all the way. Like, I just got finished throwing up and it was on high. That was the category that I fell into. So my paralysis started before I was discharged from the hospital. I was like, hey, my feet and legs are numb. I wasn't in bed long enough for it to be circulation problems or anything. That was a 5-day hospital stay. They put the little compression things on my feet for the hour they were discharging me, and then boom, let me go. I shouldn't have been discharged. The way that Guillain-Barré works, we all call it GBS for short, because can't nobody spell it or pronounce it. But the way that it works is, it fights the bad stuff, but then it attacks your peripheral nerves and your good nerves too. And everybody was getting on my nerves. They were on my good nerves, my bad nerves, and it shut my nerves down. And so, and then what happens is to come to find out, it's ascending paralysis. So, it starts in your feet and it works its way up. But we were in the dark, didn't know what I was working with, and I did not have doctors that were proactive with me. And there lies the frustration that I had, and that I was getting on here talking about, like, we don't know what's happening. My mom was taking me to we were going to all these different specialists. None of them had answers. We were doing all this testing. No answers were coming out. Meanwhile, I was getting worse and worse and worse. The GI that I saw in the hospital in April kept scoping me. And, I'm sorry, and during that course of me throwing up for a month, I had developed that hiatal hernia as well. So as the paralysis was ascending, I started having trouble breathing. GBS will shut you all the way down. Severe cases, it can cause you to stop breathing. Severe cases, you can stop swallowing, breathing. I had gotten to the point where I was having difficulty swallowing, and didn't know why, but difficulty swallowing, and I was very short of breath. I was thinking it was the doggone hiatal hernia. And kept pushing for GI to do the surgery on the hernia and to close the flap from the GERD. Because I was like, I ain't have it before. I didn't have GERD or a hiatal hernia or all this other stuff until somebody let me throw up for a whole month. So I'm thinking that's what it was. And then I had the gait balance issues because my knees would buckle because I couldn't feel my doggone legs. So I would go to stand up, I would fall. We'd be out at doctor's appointments. They would call my name from the waiting room. Mom would help me stand up, and I would drop. I had a couple of falls here in the apartment. I had one fall where I went straight back, and that fall, I'll never forget, that was on a Sunday. I was watching church online, and it doesn't matter what else I was doing. We're gonna keep me innocent. Anyway, I was trying to do something therapeutic, okay? And, I was on my vibrating plate. and I just still didn't have a diagnosis yet. But, I had ordered this vibrating plate for my birthday, and I was like, I haven't been able to use it yet. And so I was doing church online, and I was on this vibration plate. And anyway, got off of it, and I fell went straight back off of it. And I promise you, like, it felt like all of my insides went straight up into my chest. And I was like, oof. It's like, I don't know what just happened, but I don't think that was good. And it just kept going worse and worse from there. And I started wheezing I was just like, the wheezing got worse. Everything worsened, I should say. Everything was exacerbated at that point. So, it was a blessing in disguise, though. So that's when I started really, really pushing for surgery. I had a general surgeon picked out, and at the last minute, I went back on my insurance website and changed who I had picked out. And that's when my hero, Christina Perez Vizo, came into the picture. Went for a consult with her, and she was explaining everything that the GI from the hospital, she was just hospitalist GI, that's not who I selected. She was explaining everything, and that she did not, and was like, well, we'd also want to maybe do XYZ too before we go into surgery. And well, that's when she left the room, and she was leaving the room, and I think she thought my mom was on the walker. And she saw me getting off the exam table, and my mom passing me the walker. And she turned around, she was like, well, tell me about this. Like, what's going on with that whole situation? That's what we should have been talking about. I was like, nobody wants to talk about this situation. I was like, I came here to talk about, like, I can't breathe. I can't talk about this hiatal hernia. What are you talking about? So she's like, no, let's talk about this. She started asking the questions, and she immediately, like, after she asked all the questions, she's like, this is giving GBS. And I was like, what's that? So she immediately picked up on it. Not even neuro. It was freaking surgeon. I'm here for a second opinion consult on a hiatal hernia. And I was like, well, let's do the blood work. Let's see. And that's when she was like it's neuro. You gotta do a spinal tap. And she's like, do you have a neurologist? And at that time, it's like, hey, we've been playing find a doctor, be on a wait list for weeks and weeks at a time. And we were checking out, and she came back down the hallway and was like, you can't wait. She's like, I need you to go to the ER and let them know you have ascending paralysis. She said, you can't wait until your neurology appointment. And my mom took me, and then I was there for 27 days. 27 whole freaking days. So, yeah. But, Neuro did the spinal tap times 6, tapped it 6 times, Lord Jesus. Only did numbed one spot and tapped 6 spots. But anyway, did the spinal tap and did that MRI of the entire spine. That was a 3.5 hour MRI. Oh, Lord Jesus. And then, did the MRI of the brain. Anyway, they confirmed it. And it was the Guillain-Barré. And it was like, praise God, we have a diagnosis now. And so now we knew what we were working with. And why this was happening, because it just was not making sense why I was paralyzed or why, and I've done several clips of the story, but I'll tell some of this other stuff in a different clip. So the video isn't too long, because I just be like, dang, my videos always end up so long-winded, and I'll be meaning for them to. So I apologize for that. I'll cut this one here. But yes, it caused paralysis. I ended up paralyzed, feet up, all the way up chest high, and then fingers all the way up to mid forearm. And then of course, but at some point, I was starting to have the problems swallowing. But that got rectified, I think, with the round of antibiotics that they hit me with when I went in April. They hit me with a high dose of steroids and antibiotics in April. And so that kind of subsided that portion of it. And so it stayed about chest high. And I think that just kind of sustained me just enough as far as the respiratory part went, until I got somewhere in May. But yeah, there's people that end up intubated on this thing. You can go into respiratory distress. It can affect talking, speaking, people from, it can go all the way up into your face, and interrupt your whole life. I know when I was in the hospital, and it's so rare of an autoimmune disorder that I felt like I was a rare thing in a zoo. People were coming to visit me that weren't even on my care team, and it was just like, oh, we have a GBS patient in the hospital. It's that rare. And so, but some of the other care providers, like the dialysis team who handled my plasmapheresis, they were saying they're like, we have one here now who is on the ICU. They were like, and they were doing plasmapheresis for her as well. And they were like, this is like her 5th time coming. They were like, she's in ICU and it's not looking good. So, like I said, it could always be worse. I'm trying to get my last $500 for rent. I think about that lady sometimes. Like, I pray she made it. But anyway, I'm gonna cut this one right here. But yeah, that's some of the symptoms and how GBS works. And then it clears. You have it for life. So, I'm still in this flare up that started way back in April. We're still working on clearing this one up. You'll be fine. And stress is like the number one trigger, of course, aside from immunism, like as far as flare-ups, future flare-ups. And so, stress literally can kill when I say that. And so, I have to rearrange my whole life and how I approach life. And react to life situations. And I've been getting all kinds of tests um, during this. So it's been a learning opportunity and a huge life test, no pun intended. So that kind of in a nutshell is like to bring it all together. Because I know it's just kind of been like part one. Here's what we're doing today. Part two. Oh, guess what? And, and down the road, weeks later, hey, we made a breakthrough. So like that's pretty much all in a nutshell. Um, but overall, I'm blessed. I I don't have on the right kind of. I mean, like right now, I'm sitting in a wheelchair. Um, right beside me is Wilma Walker, and so I mean that's life right now, and um, just take it a day at a time, be accepting of it, and we do what we do. We go to occupational therapy and physical therapy, and take it a day at a time, and God has me doing this for a reason. So anyway, we'll stop this one right here. But anyway, GoFundMe. Hey, if you can, if you don't have it, trust me, I understand. I don't have it, which is why I started the GoFundMe. So I totally get it. But if you can like it and share it, because look, there's so many scammers out here, guys. Like people don't even trust these things anymore. But if you can like pick it up, share it, and help me out and try to raise some of this money. My long-term disability claim hasn't been approved yet, therefore I'm not getting paid right now. And then I'm working on a couple of other things. Part of the HR meeting I had this morning is they were trying to call, it helped me with some resources and trying to help me find some things within my community as well. And then some things, job offers. But of course, everything takes time. Rent is due in 8 days. I didn't find out that the long-term disability hadn't started until July 9th when I started getting, they thought that I was returning back to work. And I'm like, what? Anyway, if you've been keeping up with my posts, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that kind of all, anyway, this is, oh, I just got tired thinking about everything. But anyway, yes, please, if you could just like and share the post and help support me with the GoFundMe. Share it with your churches, organizations that you know, just people. I would be just most grateful. It's hard being on this end of things. It's definitely a humbling experience. I'm always the helper. It's like, I don't know. I was having a conversation about this the other day. Like, who does The Rock go to when you're The Rock all the time? Like, where does The Rock go? But I'm going to you guys. So, if you please, I'd be most appreciative. And okay, I'm starting to get emotional. So, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. But thank you. I'll put the link in the comments. All right, you guys have a blessed day.